Hey guys, welcome to episode 17 of Two Girls, One League. I'm Paige and this is Sylvana. And we have recurring guest Devan Kaney coming on today to talk playoff football and Eagles. And she's here.
Hi guys, sorry about that.
No, you're good.
I knew you were gonna look cute. She always looks so good. Oh my god.
I don't look cute, but thank you. That's why I was late. I'm like, let me put it when in doubt, just throw a hat on.
Yeah. A camo hat too. That always is the best. How are you doing? You feeling
I'm good.
Good after your bye weekend?
I am actually. It was a lovely, I don't want to say relaxing because every single game was kind of insane. But it was a fun weekend getting to sit back and just watch everyone else play. And now it's the Eagles' turn. Well, after tonight, it'll be the Eagles' turn, I guess.
I'm in the dumps after yesterday.
Oh my gosh, right? Because
yeah.
you're a Ravens fan. I thought they were going to do it. I really thought they were going to do it.
Honestly, me too. That was the best that they had looked to me all season. Like, they looked like they wanted to win that game. They were I honestly feel proud of them after the year we've had. I don't know.
Yeah, no, you should. And I feel like that game, honestly, that last play came down to, it just showed the quarterback's lack of experience and like the difference between, a clear starting quarterback and when you have to play your backups in a playoff game like that, because I think he just kind of, the pressure clearly, like even I could tell from watching, he looked like he was freaking out in the pocket. And
I mean, all year I've been saying he doesn't really seem like NFL ready quarterback, but dude, he had a hell of a game for
he did
circumstances.
Yeah.
But I was really fun. I mean, it's so nice that most people had off today, I think, because of MLK Day. So the bars were insane. I have not seen them like that in a minute. It was elbow to elbow. You could not move. You could not get a drink. All of Fed Hill was insane.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's why I can't partake. But Philly now, we have a Saturday night playoff game next week or this week. So
I saw you like that tweet. You're like, the city's going to be in ashes. I was like,
yeah.
I was crazy scared to be in Philly next Saturday.
Yeah, no, it's actually really insane. My sister has a baby shower on Sunday, and I'm like, the game literally is. I was so worried that it was going to be like the game.
Please move your baby shower.
The baby shower.
Be a bigger thing.
I was like, how mad would you be if I wore a jersey to the baby shower? But I'm happy it's a night game. I think they deserve that slot for sure.
What other games did you like this weekend?
The Jacksonville Chargers game, that was one that I was like most looking forward to because I've really enjoyed, watching Doug Peterson and what he's been able to do with the Jags. And it started, and I was actually at the Wells Fargo Center because I was covering the Flyers. So I missed the first half, and I'm checking Twitter, and I'm seeing like all these people freaking out and talking about Trevor Lawrence. And it's like Trevor Lawrence picked off again and again and again 4 different times. And I'm like, man, I told everyone to bet on the Jags. I thought like ETN was going to have a big game. Now in the first half, they're getting blown out. And then I got home for the second half, and then we all know what happened from there. So that game was absolutely insane.
That was crazy.
I'm glad the Jags won. What else? I mean, all of them were so crazy. Like the Giants-Vikings game was exciting to watch. Even Bills-Dolphins, like they're all closer, which makes me nervous for the Eagles Saturday. Like every game was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. Like the fact that the Bills only beat the Dolphins by what I don't even remember what the final score was, like 3 points. Like that's crazy. They were 13.
Right, especially with that quarterback they had playing. Like that was I know I was really excited going into this weekend because I thought there were a lot of good matchups. And the Jags, I think I said on the podcast here, we all picked Jags, and then we were like, oh my God, what the F?
That one was like, oh no. Everyone in Philly at least is like Doug Peterson. Like I feel so sorry for him. And then by the end of the night, of course, it was like, let's go, Dougie P. So
what he's been able to do with that team this year has been crazy, though. What he's been able to do with that team this year.
Yeah,
he's made all the difference. I really believe that.
He's a great coach.
Has, and I think he's a great coach. And everyone in Philly has nothing but respect and love for him because, I mean, he brought us a Super Bowl. And I think it was just a mess the way things went down and how he was let go. So, like, I know we are all excited to watch him succeed, and now we get to watch him and another former Eagles coach and Andy Reid play each other. I do think that the Chiefs are going to absolutely crush the Jags next week, but the Jags run was fun while it lasted. Their future is bright.
Yeah, I agree.
No. I think it's also extremely impressive to have thrown 4 picks and not just like throw in the towel. Honestly, like if I was Trevor Lawrence and I threw 4 picks, my mental state would probably be so down in the dumps in the fact that he was able to come back and still like pull off that win. I thought that was extremely impressive.
Yeah, I totally agree. And like everyone's always saying, it's like watching the Eagles, the few games that they lost in the regular season were games that they lost the turnover battle to. Either like Jalen Hurts or Gardner Minshew threw picks, or they fumbled, or something happened. So the Jags just disproved everyone who is strong about that theory. Like you can lose the turnover battle and still win.
Yeah, no, that was crazy.
So what are your thoughts going in playing the Giants next week?
I feel pretty good about it. Before this weekend, I was a little bit hesitant. Like I do think the Bucs are going to beat the Cowboys tonight.
So do I.
Same.
And I was saying that like I think I'd rather have the Bucs than the Giants, just because when you play a familiar opponent, like we've played the Giants twice already, like it's hard to beat the same team 3 times in a season. But it's also Tom Brady with the Bucs, and the Giants just aren't. When you look at the talent stacked up next to one another, like they have Saquon Barkley and that's it. And Daniel Jones has improved this season, but like he's not Tom Brady. The Eagles, when they were playing at full strength, the first game against the Giants, crushed them. They beat them by over 25 points. The last time they played, I don't think is even relevant in terms of evaluating these two teams, because the Giants didn't play anyone. It was like almost treated like a preseason game. Like Jalen Hurts, it was his first game back from injury. He clearly wasn't sharp, but the play calling was very vanilla, I think, trying to just protect Jalen Hurts and get the win and move on. So I don't think it's even worth looking back at that game and being like, oh, well, the Eagles, kind of struggled. They still handedly beat the Giants in that game when like neither team was giving their best effort whatsoever.
I agree.
So I feel good about it. Obviously, like Seahawks would have been path of least resistance, but I think the Giants are the second easiest way. So yeah, I think it does come down to, and this isn't analytics or statistics or anything like that, if the Eagles can get the mojo back that they had. I think the last game they had, it might have been like against the Giants in the regular season before the Bears game, when they lost it, when Jalen Hurts went down with injury. They will definitely win. I haven't seen that magic, those good vibes, that good energy around this Eagles team in maybe over a month now. And I think it's because Jalen went down, Lane Johnson was injured, morale just got kind of low. So if they can get that back, and I'm hoping they can just in time for the playoffs to start, for their playoff run to start, then they're going to crush the Giants. If not, it could be a closer game than we think.
Yeah, I think we were talking about that last week on the pod. We haven't had that mojo feel from Eagles. Like it was like they were all the rave, and then all of a sudden it was just like it was the weirdest, like nothing. Like everybody kind of went silent on them. And I was like, what? Especially everybody knowing that Jalen Hurts wasn't playing those games and stuff. I thought that was really odd. But I mean, I think them having a home game on a Saturday is gonna be a lot. I think it's gonna be a really tough place to win if you're a Giants fan.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it's gonna be insane.
Yeah. And then having to play 2 back-to-back road games, that's just tough as it is too.
Yeah. And the link is going to be insane. And so, yes, the Giants came to the link before, but Daniel Jones and their starters weren't even playing. So they technically haven't played in the link when it's going to be so loud and rowdy. And that's definitely a factor to consider. And that's also a factor to consider, should the Eagles move on and the 49ers come to town. Yes, they're playing well. Yes, Brock Purdy has exceeded expectations. Brock Purdy hasn't played a team with a winning record, especially a team on the road in a hostile environment like Philadelphia. And I think that just gives the Eagles so much more of an advantage.
And that's why I kind of, this is going to be a lot to say, that I want the Eagles to win, but like just moving forward, like I don't think the Giants have the talent to win these tougher games later in playoffs as it keeps going. And I think Eagles definitely have talent to make games a lot more competitive.
They don't have experience either.
Like I don't want you guys to be a one and done, honestly. Like,
I know,
just a fluke, because that's just doesn't do good for anybody else.
Well, then going one and done would also just feel like a horrible way to end such a magical season. Like this season before Jalen Hurts got injured, and even after, like they still finished with a really good record, like 14-3. That's insane. Like that's more than anyone could ever ask for from the Eagles. So to end and be one and done, would be the most like Philadelphia sports thing to ever happen, but also would just be a massive disappointment. So hopefully they don't.
I think everyone before the season, I think the highest like record prediction I thought I heard was like 12-5. So definitely, I don't think anyone saw 14-3 coming from the Eagles. And I think going towards Saturday, a big difference I think that's happened with the mojo with the Eagles has been the offensive play calling. I think that it's been a little bit different than what it was in the beginning of the season. And I think that they've definitely ventured off from running the ball a lot for some reason. I don't know why. But against that first game with the Giants when they blew them out, a big reason of that was for the run game. Jalen Hurts was like, I think over 70 rushing yards, and Miles Sanders had like 140 rushing yards. And so I think that would be a huge thing. Although against the Vikings, I know that they were able to hold Dalvin Cook to like, I think it was like 60 something rushing yards off the top of my head. So that would be a bit concerning for me. But I think a major weak spot looking at the Giants and the Vikings game is that they had like no clue how to stop like tight end targets, because that was the Vikings top receiver was their tight end. So I think that's definitely something to target for in that game against the Giants, especially with Dallas Goedert being back. I definitely think that the biggest thing that's going to be important, though, is stopping Saquon. I think he looked amazing against the Vikings. I think Saquon is so good. But our defense, with everyone coming back, is Josh Sweat confirmed, or is it still like iffy? He is confirmed? Okay.
I'm pretty sure he's been practicing. So Saquon Barkley, I think that's also a good point that you bring up. He did look really good last night, but I also think the Vikings defense is just trash. I don't believe he was 100% healthy the first time. He obviously didn't play.
No, he wasn't.
And I don't think, he was 100% healthy the first time the Eagles blew out the Giants in New York. And that is something to consider, and that does worry me, but he is also one person. We saw what they were able to do with Jonathan Taylor and Derrick Henry, and hopefully the Eagles defense can step it up. I agree with you in terms of play calling, but I also think a lot of that had to do with Jalen being out and protecting the guys that they had that were still somewhat healthy. And even when Jalen came back in for that Giants game, like I think the play calling was vanilla just because they
definitely
didn't
purposeful
want him to run. They don't want him to get hit. I agree with you though, in that like regardless, I don't think there was enough running plays called just recently. I don't remember when it started, but maybe it was the Bears game. There's one game where Miles Sanders didn't touch the ball until like the second quarter. And it was like, what are we doing here? So yeah.
So like Jalen Hurts is going to be ready to go. Is he fully healthy?
I think he's fine. I think they're playing it up to be way bigger than it is. There's no way.
He loves to trick the media. Like he's notorious for like never saying anything about injuries. Like he'll always be like, oh, we don't know, day-to-day, questionable, whatever. So the fact that he came out and was like, he was in a lot of pain, he was struggling out there, or whatever the exact words he used, like that in itself is suspicious. I mean, I respect it, but it was also
I don't like that.
If you've heard enough Nick Sirianni press conferences, it was like, Nick,
it was nothing like he's ever said before.
Yeah.
Like he's never went into depth about anyone's injury really and been like, oh, like they're really hurting. Like, I don't think they're going to be 100%. I think it's a bit suspicious for sure. I think he's trying to throw off everyone.
I think he is.
He's very like tactical. I remember Devin, do you remember his like flower press conference?
Yeah.
That was the funniest thing. And I think since then,
that
was like when all the tables turned, like everything was going well, was after that press conference. Where
like, I don't know what the record is, but since that flower speech, the fertilizer speech, they've had a winning record. And I remember that was like our low point. If that might have been right after the race, it was like around Halloween, because I remember Halloween last year, a lot of people in Philadelphia wore like flower hats and crowns and stuff because they were like Nick Sirianni's speech. But since then all of a sudden they turned it around and it was like, okay, maybe this guy actually knows what he's doing. And so, like, I love Nick Sirianni. I think that he's unconventional, but I think he fits Philadelphia so perfectly. Like, I love that he gets so fired up and then he fires up the crowd. I know a lot of people have problems with that, but like, I love it.
Yeah, same.
I like when they're tactical. Sometimes I always think like Harbaugh, I'm like, oh, maybe he's being like tactical, but I don't think he's just like a tactical guy like that. And I like, oh, it makes me overthink it. And I'm like, no, I think he's just actually being serious. Like, he's just like, this isn't into like a competitive like trick or anything. So unfortunately,
I have to be honest with you. I think the Ravens, offensively especially, were one of the least enjoyable teams to watch. Aside from last night, I had fun watching them last night.
No, I mean we were averaging
no
before
point.
going into the second half of this year without like Lamar. After we lost Lamar, we were averaging like less than 12 points a game. I'm pretty sure, or like 12 points. And I mean every single one of them, if you watch the game, were probably mostly field goals. I don't think we had a wide receiver score. There was like at one point I remember talking about on here, we didn't have like a wide receiver score a touchdown since like week 3 or something. Like insane. Which and when I heard that stat, I was like, it's a miracle our record even was what it was.
I was surprised to see that they even made the playoffs. Like I
know.
I co-host a betting show on BetQL every Sunday morning, and my 2 co-hosts are radio hosts in Baltimore. Like they cover the Ravens. So I feel like we talk about them a lot, and they like the way that they talk about the Ravens are like, oh, I hate this team so much. Like they just don't. One of them, Jason LaCanfora, always said, even on this past yesterday, he was like, the Ravens are totally okay with just settling for 17 points a game and like just hoping that they win on that. But as a fan, just like watching football in general, like whenever the Ravens were playing this year, I'm like, ugh,
it's been miserable. It's literally been miserable.
It's just a game of like field goals.
Are you looking at me like my eyeballs right now? I have death inside of me today. Like, because I'm just so over it. Like it's just like, I want to be excited again. And I wanted Lamar to play like he could play without a whole fucking leg. And I just want to see him play again because that 2019-2020 season, it was just so electrical, so magical. And I just want that back. Win or lose, like those games were just so much more fun to watch and so much, it was just, it's been rough this year, but I think that they need to let Greg Roman go. And if they don't, they're going to lose a lot of fans because people cannot watch this again next year.
Well, do you think they're going to re-sign Lamar because my 2 co-hosts say that report that was
that report that came out this weekend is getting I was like, for sure the tag. They're not going to let this guy walk. Like you can't base anything off of this year. And both sides would understand that nothing can be negotiated off this year. Like I would for sure think that that's clear for both parties. And now after hearing that, I don't even know what to think. Like, I still think that they would be crazy to let him walk. I still think that he should get the tag this year, but I don't know. It's tough. Like, I guess it just really depends on people. Everybody's saying like, Lamar's not like that. He's a team guy. He wants to be out there. He wants to play because he's done nothing but always just say how bad he wants a Super Bowl. But I also am like, okay, but at the same time, like, how well do you actually know Lamar? Like, you don't know what when it comes to money, like people have to be selfish and look out for their best interest. I mean, you only know somebody so well based off of a press conference, you know?
Because someone would pay that for him.
Yeah, but I'm honestly getting sick of like the coaching part of it because I really feel like a lot of things this year have come down to the people in charge, and that's unacceptable. And that doesn't go when this happens on any other team, any other organizations, they get rid of them right away. Like I don't know why our leash for that is so long.
Yeah. I mean, if I was a Ravens fan, like I feel for you, but I would be very frustrated with.
Yeah, it's really frustrating.
With everything.
Because how can you honestly say, like, I saw people commenting on Facebook and all this stuff because Lamar wasn't at the playoff game last night, which that in itself is a whole other story. I don't know what the deal is with that. Seems very odd to me that he wouldn't be on the sidelines of a playoff game since he is the leader of this team. He's the face of the team. has been for a couple years now.
So like, yes, he wants to win, but also if you're in his position, like I agree, like money isn't everything, but like they have to pay him.
Right.
And if you're not going to pay him, then like, and like they haven't committed to that, then I do understand why he wouldn't want to fly to Cincinnati to be with a team that he might not even be with next year. You know?
I guess I can totally understand that side of it, but I still feel like these are his guys and he's always been such a team player in that sense. Like you've never heard anybody talk bad about Lamar ever. Mm-hmm. So like that to me is odd, especially Snoop. Him and Snoop seem like they've always been really close. Like there's not a lot of black quarterbacks in this league, you know, and like he's always been like a mentor to him. I don't know if he stepped back to like not be a distraction and let Snoop actually feel like he was QB1 because it's such a big deal. But that to me seems a little bizarre. And I'm seeing a lot of people being like, he needs to go. And I'm like, what are you saying? Like, why would you ever I can't even imagine typing Lamar needs to go. Like, I am not at that point.
Lamar is like literally your one offensive player who can actually.
I'm not at that point where I'm fed up with Lamar. Like he would have to do some really crazy shit for me to be like, let's get rid of him. Yeah. And just also at the end of the day, like this is entertainment. Like the NFL this is based off viewership. That is how this league runs. That's how people make their money, is because of idiots like us who live and die for this. And at the end of the day, Lamar's always put asses in seats. So if you're an ownership, like people the past years have all come out just for Lamar. We've gotten primetime games because of Lamar, not because of John Harbaugh, not because of anybody else on the team. It is literally Lamar. So that to me is just like, how could you ever let somebody like that walk?
Yeah. I don't know. I do know that it's played into, because a big topic in Philly is Jalen Hurts needs to get paid this offseason, and whether Lamar would impact how much Jalen Hurts was paid, because they're like always compared because they're similar style quarterbacks, and Lamar hasn't been paid. So I don't think it impacts it at all, but a lot of people do. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I feel like no. I just feel like also the Ravens notoriously don't pay offensive players, and I think that has like a lot to do with it and just how our organization has always been ran. And I think Philly's very different from Baltimore in that sense. But I don't know. It's kind of like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. I mean, if you don't pay Lamar, then you got to. It's not like they spend the money to have a bunch of Hall of Famers anywhere else. Like our offensive guys, they are so into always getting the wide receivers and rookies for cheap. They love like a bargain on that end. So it's like, if you're not going to pay Lamar, then you got to pay to put people in other places, or else you're just going to be a mediocre. And this is how it'll be. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to find out soon. I would hope.
So, wait, who are you rooting for now that the Ravens are out?
I know. Oh God. My brother-in-law is a Bills fan, but I honestly got into it with him last night, and I was like, F you, I would never root for the Bills, and my nieces and nephews better never be Bills fans. Like I was just, like really in my feels, and I was like, I'll never let that happen. Like
Why? What is your
from Baltimore? We are born and raised here, and this just means more. You do not have any family members that like live or reside in Buffalo. Like your family.
Oh, so he's a fan that's like not actually from.
No, Buffalo. he's from upstate New York. He is, but not like literally Buffalo.
Okay.
But so they
like I can't stand. I feel like Baltimore is similar to Philly, where like our fan bases are so localized and like everyone else hates us for the most part. That like it's not like the Cowboys. Like I can't stand when fans are like, I'm a Cowboys fan, and it's like, have you ever been to Dallas? Like, are you from Dallas?
Yeah,
and they're like,
no.
No, that's kind of how. Like that's how it was the whole time with like the Tom Brady when he was with the Patriots. Everybody, Baltimore would have so many Pats fans for those games, and I'm like, where are you from? And it's like they're just from like a state 3 away from like they're just from the Northeast, like, and they just have bandwagon. That's why I couldn't.
Or like just a Tom Brady fan. Like I can't stand Lakers fans. Or people who just root for whatever team LeBron James plays for. Like when the Lakers came to Philadelphia, there were so many fans in the stands. I'm like, where are they all coming from? And they were all just LeBron fanboys. Like they just follow him wherever he goes. And like, that's no discredit to like a Tom Brady or LeBron. Like, yes, they've accomplished a lot, but also like, come on, like have some background here.
Well, that's because we were just born and raised differently. Like this is like literally our
like
blood.
it was never
we could never relate to anything like that. Yeah.
Never allowed to even like venture off for a different team.
Yeah.
Like my family would like disown me.
So when the Eagles, especially last year, when the Eagles were out, I did find myself rooting for the Bills because
so did I. Yeah.
In covering lacrosse, I've spent a lot of time actually in Buffalo, and
I remember you saying that.
Oh, right, we talked about this. That's so crazy. Last time we talked, we were like, "What if the Super Bowl is Bills and Eagles?"
Yeah, we did.
They just, I feel like that. I almost feel bad for that fan base because they've literally like never won anything, and they
never won anything
in all sports, and then just like it never happens. I don't think it's actually going to happen this year. Like especially watching the Bills yesterday, I don't think
it is either.
I think the Chiefs are going to.
That's what I said to when the fact that you almost lost to a quarterback with like zero experience, all that. I was like, you guys should be nervous because. But before,
and it was close last week too against the Pats for them.
Right before that game though, I was like pretty sure they were good and also I just was like, this team needed no other reason to like be motivated in that sense. And now the whole DeMar Hamlin thing and all this, I was like, oh, this team might have like guardian angels from above with them now. And I'm like, there's like some fairy pixie dust over there I'm worried about. But that's like told my sister, my older sister, who's married to the Bills fan. She was born and raised Baltimore. And she's a fan, but she's not like me, like as hardcore. She's not like cussing in front of TV or anything. And I was like, you need to get more involved. I was like, you need to be cussing at the TV. I want you talking your shit to him because we've got kids to raise eventually and we got to have them be Ravens fans. Yeah. So I was like, I'm going to need you to go put your jersey on if it's not on.
Yeah, that's important. Can't have kids being raised as Bills fans. Maybe you just like split it, have one be a Ravens fan, one be a Bills fan.
Probably. I mean, I feel like you do what your dad is, so that's like the most. Yeah. So that's why I was like, you need to get involved.
Have a little like onesie thing, and you just let the baby.
I know. Like, imagine when they start gifting that, I'm gonna be burning stuff. Like, I'm gonna be having like family fights with her in-laws. But
do you have anywhere to watch the game on Saturday, Devin? Like, do you like go out anywhere or you cover?
No, I do. Yeah, I cover them. So I don't go to the game. We host the post-game show out of Ocean Casino in their sports book in Atlantic City. So I always get to watch in Atlantic City. So I'll be there Saturday night. Yeah.
That's a nice casino.
It is a really nice casino. And really
I like that one. Yeah.
What's the diamond lineup? What do we got this weekend?
I don't know. I'm curious. It's always a surprise. Like, I don't usually know until the day of. So we'll see. Hopefully something big and shiny.
That's always my favorite. When you do that, I'm like, I love it. They're always so
I
pretty.
need to be better about it. I've been slacking on my
Yeah, you have been slacking posting it. I know. I saw it in your Twitter.
But you know why? So I'm so superstitious. Like when I wear my own jewelry, especially like when I watch sports mainly, I have like certain earrings that like I won't wear because like the Eagles or the Sixers have like, or like if they're losing, I'll literally like take off like my ring. And I'm like, okay, that changed.
Yeah.
So I think the Eagles started winning when I like wouldn't post it, or like I didn't want to post it until after they had won because like I didn't want people to troll me like they do all the time in my DMs if like they lost. So then I just stopped because I'm like, wait, this might be working. So we'll see.
Wait, no, I don't think it is working though, because I feel like when you guys were like at the height of like this magic, I was seeing diamond posts.
Yeah, you're right. Actually,
I am no, like I'm for sure, and I have not seen diamond posts
archives
in like a while.
When did I stopped when they started going on? Not the most recent slide. But it wasn't after the Commanders lost. Maybe it was when they lost to the Commanders. That's when I stopped because I was like, oh my God, they lost one game. I need to stop posting.
No, I think
you're right. You're right. Maybe I'll try the theory out on Saturday and see if it works.
And it always gets me.
It's banking on you.
Comment on your nail polish or your lack of nail polish.
Oh my God. Okay. I actually really need to get my nails done once again.
So do I. Because I've ripped them off.
I get pissed when guys comment on it even girls too, because I'm like, do you know how long it takes to get your nails done? And getting my nails done is like my least favorite activity.
It's a waste of time. It is a
waste of time. I'm like, who in the world has 2 hours to go sit and not even not to use their phone, just sit there with their hands in a little prison waiting for them to get done? Like, it's hard to find time. So today I'm going to try to find time maybe later tonight. I've been trying to do
I have to go do the same thing, but I'm like, there's never a point where I get off work or something and I'm like, I just want to go waste 2 hours of my
It's not relaxing.
My day to go sit here and do that. It is such a waste.
It's not relaxing.
The one time I actually went like before Thanksgiving and I got a regular manicure, like the old school, you got to wait for it to dry. And I was like, this is so ghetto. Like,
why did you do that?
Because I just wanted them painted. I mean, it came off obviously within 48 hours.
Yeah. You got dip or something.
But I was like, it was so fast though. It was literally 20 minutes. And I was like, maybe I should start doing this.
Well, so I just do gel. I don't do the fake ones mainly because I know that takes even longer. And I like, even just with the gel, I'm like, I don't have the time. Like, I gotta go.
Yeah. And it hurts.
I will do like the dip and it's like, I'm like, oh my God, come on.
Yeah. The dip takes so long. Oh my God.
So the regular manicure was like 20 minutes, but it is a little.
But then you have to wait for it to dry.
It's a little ghetto because you might mess it up on your way out the door. Yeah. All right. So what other games are we looking forward to this weekend? And we can wrap it up.
Tonight.
Oh, wait. Tonight's game.
Talk about tonight's game.
Also, why is that at the Bucks? I was honestly shocked that is not at Dallas.
Okay, I'm glad that you asked that. I have no idea, but I was wondering that too. And I'm like, is this a dumb question? Like, why? And I was confused why the Chargers were at the Jags as well. I didn't realize that. I don't know.
Jags ones I didn't really question, but this one I'm like, how the F is this? And I told my boyfriend in it, and because we were previewing all the playoff games last week, and he was like, no, it's not. No, it's not. I was like, dude, I literally looked at it. I know it's at Bucks. And he was like, what the F?
I think it's because the Bucks were first place in their division where the Cowboys weren't, because the Eagles.
That was the same thing with the Jaguars thing.
Yeah, and I think the Jaguars division sucked, but they somehow
That's why I'm like
the leader of the division.
I feel like Dallas has played like way more tough games than Tampa, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Tampa also has a losing record. It's crazy.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's
like
crazy.
The playoffs are so messed up this year.
How you can get a home field with that.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's ridiculous.
But I'm really excited for that. I think
I'll lose my mind.
Really sucks because I think in playoffs, that's such a huge advantage. Like the home field in playoffs, like especially Tom Brady with his like witches and stuff that he's got.
I'm not complaining. I'm happy.
I thought he lost the witches because I thought Giselle power. So I like that they're playing in Tampa, because home field advantage for Tom Brady and the Bucks. The Cowboys, because they play on turf in Dallas, are 1-4 playing on grass. Yeah.
Interesting.
And Tom Brady is 7-0 like lifetime against the Cowboys. Literally never lost to them. So I'm like all in on the Bucks tonight.
I think that's going to be a good game though. I also think that there shouldn't be a Monday night playoff game because
it's so dumb.
This is they lose. So whoever wins this has to play 49ers at 49ers. So
49ers have 2 extra days.
They've got a full 2 extra days. Not only that, but now you also have to go travel to the West Coast, so you lose
hours. Been jet lagged.
Or like you're like that. Just to me that doesn't make sense. I don't understand. I can understand if that's regular season. That seems very reasonable for regular season, but this is playoff football. Like that's pretty crazy to me that was allowed.
I agree. I mean, I think it all just comes down to broadcast money and stuff. But
I mean, of course, once again, it's their business. But
I also just hate Monday Night Football. Like even in regular season football, I don't know why. Well, really? I do know why. I just hate it. So before this season, they definitely improved. I hated the ESPN broadcasts, just everything about it, like the talent, the announcers, the weird graphics that I think everybody
agrees with that.
Yeah. And also like Monday Night Football, like I hate when the Eagles play Monday night. Same as Sunday night, because you're just like sitting around waiting for every other game to be played out. So like, especially for playoffs, you're just like watching everything else happen, knowing that you're up last and you have a shorter week. Like I'm not here for it.
I hate when my own team plays Monday Night Football or during the week, but I honestly like it with other people because it takes away my scaries. I feel like it's like a little bonus on Monday.
No, that's true. Like tonight, especially now that the Eagles already know who they're playing, I'm like, oh yeah, I can like hang out, watch that game.
Mondays to me suck, so I'm just like, I like when we got like a little something on a Monday night.
Yeah, I do agree. I just hate when my team plays.
Yeah, no, me too. But yeah, got a lot of good games coming up. Other than that, who else do we have this weekend?
Anything else?
So now, who are the Bengals playing?
Bengals play Jags.
No, I think the Jags are playing the Chiefs. So Bengals play the Bills. Oh,
yes, Bills. Yep.
So that game will finally be played.
Yeah. Oh God. And where is that going to be played?
I don't know, but I feel like it should be at a neutral site, and it's not going to be.
I thought they decided. Isn't it somewhere in Arizona or something?
No, that's Bills Chiefs, I believe.
Let me look.
At Bills.
Okay, it's at Bills. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait. Yeah, that is a little iffy. That maybe should be neutral. Ooh.
Yeah. I think the Chiefs Bills is neutral if it comes to that, because they both were technically the 1 seed, but like they gave it to Chiefs, I believe, with that game that was canceled. So, but now we still get to see the Bills and Bengals finally playing.
I know, which is like kind of weird now though, because now it's gonna have like, what if I feel like DeMar is gonna come to that game and be shown, because he was gonna come this weekend, but he stayed at home. So that's gonna be like emotional and really, it's gonna be a lot. That game's gonna be a lot.
Yeah.
That's kind of tough going into as Bengals, because it's like you were a part of that, but also like you kind of got to focus on yourselves.
Yeah.
But glad he's back and he's doing well. So that's great news.
Yeah, that's crazy.
One last thing I want to talk about is that I can't stand, and I don't know if you guys have them, but I do not like the women's cut football jerseys. I'm getting sick of them.
I hate women's cut anything, honestly.
Oh yeah, the t-shirts, anything.
I hate, and no one's ever brought this up, and I'm glad that you did, because like I intentionally, if I get a short shirt or a sweatshirt or a jersey, I like get the men's, because I don't get why everyone's just like, oh, women, let me cut out the waist and make it like a V-neck.
Let me make it skin tight on the arms. Let me make it skin tight on the arms, and also like a creepy V-neck.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate it so much.
I can't stand it. I was like thinking that the other day when I saw it, because I'm always like, women, like I love women's sport, and then I'm like, get those out of here. Why are you?
No, I just want a normal jersey. Thank you.
Like, just wear something normal. The waist. My jersey, I look like a freaking linebacker in, because it's a men's jersey.
Mine's
and
down
it's
to
like
my
definitely
knees.
a little too long. But I'm like, okay, I will wear this any day of the week over the girl that is wearing Under Armour skin tight and the women's cut jersey. I'm like, I can see her whole like neckline on.
Yeah.
And it's like my jersey is like men's, so the sleeves come to like half my elbows.
And down to my knees.
This girl's one it came to right here. It was like perfectly fitted. I was like, that's not
look like cute like that in a jersey.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be like that. Get rid of them. This is not a women's jersey cut stand podcast. That's all I'll say. All right. Anyway, thank you so much for coming on.
Yes,
good luck to you this weekend. You better post those diamonds, because
I will.
Actually, I'm going to be saying
I think that's a big part in the road to Arizona. I'm not going to lie.
You know what? You're right. I'll get the
better get it together. Get it together this weekend.
I'll post them. And thanks for having me on, guys. Go Birds.
Thank you so much for coming on. All right. Shout out to Devin. She's the best. It's always great having her on. We got a quick ad read right here. Shout out Som Sleep. Having trouble getting a good night's sleep? Check out Som Sleep, the official quality night sleep provider of us at Not For Long Media and Two Girls One League. Use promo code GIRLS for 10% off a box of the best quality sleep product on the market. The scientifically advanced Som stack includes ingredients that are naturally found in your body, a healthy diet, and green tea. Som addresses sleep issues from 3 different angles, providing a more comprehensive solution. It begins with targeted nutrition to support your body's own natural sleep regulating cycle. Som also relaxes the mind, preparing the brain to transition smoothly from wake to sleep. That's promo code GIRLS for 10% off. Oh my God, that was a freaking mouthful today.
I hate reading that ad. It's
my
so
brain just like glitched like 3 times during that.
I stutter. It's too long. I always stutter reading it.
Yeah, but any closing thoughts other than my only closing thought is that when I woke up this morning, I was on Twitter and there was a Alabama basketball player did you see that? He was in a shooting. He like shot people and he's now like charged with capital murder. And like I think there's like a death sentence for that. So
holy shit.
Crazy.
Yeah, I did not read that. I honestly have barely been on Twitter. My closing thoughts are that I'm extremely happy. I mean, on a way lighter note than that, Jesus. I'm extremely happy that the Vikings are out of the playoffs.
Yeah, what gives you the ick? Tell everybody what your new ick is.
Oh, I think that the biggest ick is just like probably seeing a guy doing the skull chant, like like you're watching TV and they do like the pan shot of like all the fans doing the skull chant. Like imagine the guy you're talking to is in the crowd and like you see him doing the like that and like screaming skull.
The guys in general give me ick doing that kind of stuff. Like sometimes watching football with guys or like guy friends, I like get really icked out because just how intense they can be is just like sometimes I'm like. Ew.
It's so
like when they clap and like stuff like that, I'm just like, ugh.
I'm guilty of it too sometimes, and then when I see other people do it, I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, is that what I look like?
I'm guilty of it too, especially around my immediate family. If you ask them, they're watching football with me is psychotic. But like sometimes when I will be out with guys, sometimes I will be silent. Like I'll act like I don't know what I'm talking about, or I'll act like I don't really know anything because like they just give me such an ick.
And then if you do say something, they're like, wait, like you know that? Like you know what's going on there?
I did, yeah. I got in a fight recently with the guy I'm dating because every time I say something, every single thing that I've said to him, he'll be like, you're so pessimistic about Ravens or whatever. Every single thing I've said has ended up being completely right. It ended up being completely true. And he's like, you're right. Like I made him say, I was like, tell me that everything I've said is right. And he did. But I'm like, you will not talk down on me as a woman who's talking about football because you've played just as many plays in the NFL as I have. So
yeah, you've taken as many snaps.
Right, exactly. And I'm like, shut up. Like I know what I'm talking about. It's so annoying.
Yeah, no, that's definitely something that actually gets me extremely irritated. Actually, speaking on that, did you see how that Vikings coach reacted to, I mean, honestly, granted, I think that these sideline interviews, like in between the game, that they make these sideline reporters do are kind of like stupid. Like they're setting them up to fail essentially. But
I didn't see this.
So, no, Ravens coach actually was a dick to Melissa Stark, sideline reporter Melissa Stark, asking questions. I think before the half. I wasn't watching the game. I just saw the clip on Twitter, and I don't know. He was just being a straight up dick. Like I understand that. Yeah, it's
this was John
Harbaugh? And you're losing. Yeah, it's a shitty time and you're losing, but that's literally her job to ask questions, and it's not as a sideline reporter. You're not gonna go into the half, especially commenting and be like, oh, like you don't comment on the good stuff. You comment on what they're gonna change and the mistakes that happened and their thoughts on it. And he was a complete dick about it. And I was just like, holy shit. Like if that was me, I'd honestly probably like be extremely annoyed or honestly cry the way that he was acting, weird. Like answering your questions.
And then lastly, Cliff Kingsbury is in Thailand with his girlfriend. He seems to be doing okay. Did you see that picture?
No.
He bought, so it was reported like last week how he bought a one-way ticket to Thailand and he wasn't interested in returning anytime soon or something. He's 5 years guaranteed by the Arizona Cardinals, so he's doing fine money-wise. But his girlfriend posted like some really cheeky photos, I guess, in Thailand, and everybody was kind of just reacting to it. Like, seems like he's doing okay. If you haven't seen the photos, you need to go look at the photos. Did you see them?
I tried just Googling them now. I see like one. She's honestly really pretty.
I think Barstool might have posted them.
He's 43.
They're very cheeky. She's like young as shit looking too. Not that he's like that old. I think he's only like 41, but
yeah, she's definitely. I want to know. Oh, she's a model.
She's a little
okay, well, that makes sense. She's a model. Damn. Honestly, she's living the life. I'd love to be in fucking Thailand with my rich boyfriend.
Right now. See.
And now he doesn't have a job, so it's like spending time with my rich boyfriend who now has all the time in the world, and like we can go on these expensive trips. Right. And, like, she's living the dream.
Anyway, that's all for me. What about you? You got anything?
I'll just say that I'm not scared of the New York Giants, and I think that it's not hard to beat a team 3 times, and I think that the Eagles are going to win Saturday. And I hope that the Cowboys get absolutely demolished and that Dak throws 4 picks tonight.
I would agree with that. I think Philly's going to be a very hostile environment on Saturday, and I think it's going to be really tough to win there.
Well, it's going to be hard because it's an 8 o'clock game, so you know that everyone's going to be drinking from at least 1 p.m.
Oh, yeah. So for sure. Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck. All right. Follow us on Instagram, 2 Girls, 1 League. Follow us on TikTok. Leave some hate. We love it.
Yeah.
That is all. Goodbye.
All right.